Get connected with Take Two Radio on Facebook or Twitter at Take Two Radio. For email updates on future shows, follow at Blog Talk Radio. For previous episodes, upcoming guests, and more, visit Take2Radio.com.
Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Take Two Radio. I'm Pam, your host, and joining me today is my co-host, David. I think that I don't have to clarify anymore that it's any other co-host because I don't have any other one. That's it. It's just me and David because Sabina's found a life.
Yep. We have our own universe.
Right. Exactly. We live in our own little world here. So it's, oh my gosh, it's Tuesday evening in Chicago, just like everywhere else, unless, of course, you're in Australia or something. And it's cold, but at least we haven't gotten any snow over the last couple of days. We already got a foot of it, and I'm tired of it already. How about New York?
Gone?
No.
None?
None?
No.
Oh,
None.
my gosh. I thought for sure you guys would get what we get because that's usually how it happens.
And it's supposed to be 50-ish tomorrow over here.
Yeah, we're supposed to have 53 on Thanksgiving, believe it or not, and then it's going to go down from there. So by the weekend, again, it looks like it's back down to the 30s or something. So I will just hibernate like I always do. But tonight we are super excited because
yes, we are.
We have an actor coming on for an interview, or a chat, as I'd like to call it, that I have been wanting to speak to for 3 years now. And finally, it's happening. So I know that he has a huge fan base.
Yes, he does.
A lot of you know him from either one of his roles on the daytime soaps Young and the Restless or General Hospital or now Days of Our Lives, or you might know him from some of the movies he's done or the other primetime shows. He was on quite a few Aaron Spelling series
yeah.
So I don't know if this is our guest, but let me go ahead and pick it up and see. Take Two Radio, this is Pam. Well, I don't think it's our guest yet. But anyway, so I'll finish telling you who it is. But if you're listening, you probably already know it's Greg-Vaughan.
Yes.
Yeah, I just don't know what phone number he's calling from, so I'm unsure when there's a phone number showing up because a lot of times people will call in just to listen, and I think that's the case
true.
This time around. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, lots of listeners come.
Yeah, they call in, and I guess it's easier or they don't have access to the Internet at the time. So
I wonder if he's trying and he's in a blind spot. Could that be?
You mean when the call I just answered?
Yeah, you think it's like a blind spot? Maybe he just can't reach you because the signal is being blocked. Like when you go through the tunnel.
I know. Yeah, no, I don't think it was him, but why don't you go ahead and wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, and I'm going to try this again.
All right. Everybody, Take Two Radio would like to take this time to wish each and every one of you a happy and healthy Thanksgiving. Pam and I want you to eat hearty and sleep well. And may all your wishes come true for Christmas and the New Year. So, what's everyone everyone is going out, I believe, or staying in. Lots of family is coming. Lots of family going. I know anything can happen during this time. So be safe. Stay warm. Stay close to your older folks. Stay close to your younger folks. Because you may not know what can happen the next day. And please.
Okay. Yeah, I double-checked, and that's not him yet, so still waiting for him to call. He must be just running a little bit late, but I'm glad I did pick up the call again and speak with her because she helped me. So.
Oh, good.
I know what area code he's going to call in from, so if he uses the phone, that's all I know. But at least that helps.
Good. You just missed my Mad Lib.
I'm sure you did fine.
Yeah.
Were you talking about Thanksgiving?
I was telling everyone to be safe and stay close to your elders and your youngsters.
Yeah, they both can get in trouble.
Mhm.
So, you're going over by your brothers for Thanksgiving?
Yeah, I am. It's it's only for me, it's 35 minutes away. And,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, we stay home and my husband cooks. I used to cook, but unfortunately, because of my disabilities, it's hard for me to cook a big meal like that. So, he does it, and God bless him. Sometimes we have the G kids over, and sometimes not. It all depends on what their mother is doing. But my second son and my youngest son will be home with us, so we'll have a nice one. I think my daughter's coming over, too. I have to wait and find out about that. I did want to mention, though, some sad news that came across my timeline a little bit earlier about all my children's David Canary passing away. He was 77. And when you don't have access to what's going on with the actor, once all my children went away, you really don't hear much about a lot of the actors unless they're currently working on something else. And I don't know if he was sick, if this was sudden. I didn't get to read any articles yet because I was busy doing other things. But my condolences to his family. Loved him dearly and all my children.
Yeah,
both
he
roles
was
that he played, Adam and Stuart, and they were so different from each other, and it was a sin and a shame when they killed off Stuart too.
And I do believe prior to his role as Adam Chandler, he was on another world.
Well, that I'm not sure about because
I
didn't watch that. Did you watch it when he was on, or?
No, I know he was. I believe he played Rachel's husband, Steve, for one of her first husbands. But see, I'm going by my mom's memory. So.
By your mom's memory?
my mom's memories. I mean, she used to. I swear, Mom used to try and watch just about everything when she was home. So,
Well, looking at his IMDb, he played on Search for Tomorrow, it looks like, for a short stint, but then he was on Peyton Place for quite a while. He was on Gunsmoke, Bonanza. I remember him on Bonanza, except when I watched it, of course, at that time I was not watching All My Children, so I didn't put the two and two together until later in life. And it looks like he was only on as Stephen Frame on Another World, maybe for either one episode or 1 year, because they only show, like, episode dated July 30th.
Huh.
So I don't think he was on there for a long time. Maybe it was something temporary where the other
maybe it was
actor was ill or, you know.
Yeah. So,
but,
was that 70-ish? That was in the 70s, right? Because I know it's probably before I was watching.
It says 1982.
Oh, 82. Oh, I was in that throes back then. Okay. All right. Well, I swear they come in like blurbs, so what I can remember. I just remember hearing about it and like that. I don't know for how long he played. But he was a powerhouse in whatever he did.
Yeah, definitely. A very, very good actor, and he will be missed greatly. I wish that he could have worked, after All My Children, but maybe he chose to retire at that time, too. I think that's what I read, as a matter of fact, that he retired.
And he was retiring?
I think so.
He looked a little tired when he was doing, when he was doing it in Connecticut. I could tell he was just probably worn out, and it's a good thing that he wasn't on for all of them.
Yeah. I mean, some of them work until, the end, and some of them just say, that's it, I've had enough, and it's time to retire and enjoy my family and, do what they want to do, and he may have just been one of those. So, what I think I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to play a song for our listeners. I'm very sorry. I apologize. I don't know where Greg is at the moment. I'm assuming he's just running late. Maybe he was in another meeting or another interview, since he has this new movie coming out on Sunday called The Christmas Note, and that'll be on the Hallmark Movies and Mysteries channel, which is the sister channel of the Hallmark channel. For quite some time, I didn't realize that there was two Hallmark channels. And I figured that out, I want to say a couple years ago, when one of the other soap people were doing a movie and they were advertising that they were on, and I was looking at the Hallmark channel going, where? I don't see it. What's going on here?
I know.
Yeah, and then I think I possibly tweeted about it, and I think somebody told me at that time, so I'm scrolling through millions of channels looking for this other one. And it's I in my area anyhow, in Comcast, the Hallmark Movies and Mysteries channel is actually on 508 instead of 131. So if you're unfamiliar with
same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I had that same thing, like I told you about when I was watching Murder, She Baked, and I told you it took me 20 minutes to. It took me 20 minutes to find it, and it says it's on. I have to remember for me it's 6:39.
Yeah.
So I have that on my notes now.
Yeah, it's different for everybody unless you live in my area or live in your area or something. Then it's possible that they'll be able to find the channel right away. So let me go ahead and just choose a song real quick and see if I can find out what's going on. Hold on, everybody, please, and thank you.
Yes.
Been through a rocky road, Lord knows I have showed restraint. I was the unlucky one, confused by things I've seen, find it hard to believe. Woke out cold, lost my soul, thought I would end up alone. Time for change, cue next frame, I'll never be the same. Blown away by the way I found you. I don't mind what the others say. Blown away by the way I found you. All this time it's been staring me in the face. The feeling sinking in, takes time for me to do change. Stuck in my way, scared of things I feel, find it hard to reveal. Boys that play, see these days while keeping you at bay. Time for change, cue next frame, time to ignite the flame. Blown away by the way I want you. I don't mind what the others say. Blown away by the way I want you. All this time it's been staring me in the face. You never have to be alone. You never have to keep your heart unshown. I'm sorry for the pain I've caused. You trust your God. I know it's hard. I promise I will heal this Blown away by the way I love you. I don't mind what the others say. Blown away by the way that I love you. All this time it's been staring me. All this time it's been staring me. All this time it's been staring me in the face.
Tonight's the night for dating a long time. You had to share a girl's night out. We talk trash and we love to man bash. We all know what's really going down. You wanna be like a girly girl. You want a guy to rock your world. I know you didn't ask me, but if I were you, this is what I'd do. Don't order the tequila 'cause you know how you get. Don't talk about your ex, you ain't over him yet. You can wear the short skirts, but I skip the heels. And don't go on about how you feel just for tonight. Bottle your crazy up. Bottle your crazy up. Don't be mad, I'm just trying to remind you. You know I know just what you mean. A little less might work remember that guy in New Orleans. He saw too much of everything. You were just trying to get more beans. I know you didn't ask me, but if I were you, this is what I'd do. Don't order the tequila, cause you know how you get. Don't talk about your ex, you ain't over him yet. You can wear the short skirts, but I skip the heels. And don't go on about how you feel. Just for tonight, bottle you're crazy of.
That summer breeze when my broken heart was about to freeze. She rescued me, she put me back again. And her love was all I needed, and just like that I was completed. She knows me outside and in, and I could have searched over the world, looked around and never found someone like her. I would say to anyone listening, you don't get much better than perfect. I really can't believe why she chose me. I don't deserve it. You don't get much better than perfect. What she is to me. Now she's so easy to love, cause no one's loved me harder than she does. When she kisses me, she blows me away. Any fool can see how she was custom made for me. Heaven sent down an angel my way, and I wouldn't trade her for the world. 'Cause she's my rock and I'm not letting go of my girl. I would say to anyone listening, you don't get much better than perfect.
Okay, everybody, the moment we've been waiting for. We have Greg-Vaughan live on the phone now.
Hi, everyone. How's everybody?
Hey.
I hope well.
Hi. Oh, it's wonderful to hear your voice, and I
Yes,
know
it is.
you're so very busy, and I appreciate that you're able to call in.
No, thank you for having me. With the holidays and full steam ahead, and running to the grocery store, I've got 3 little boys on my hip from trying to keep them, burn them out, and get some groceries done.
Yeah. Well, I give you credit for doing that because I know it's not easy.
No, it's by no means easy. I've got, shoes to get. I've been getting everything. Everybody's complaining about having new tennis shoes, wanting lunch. I need play dates. I'm like, man, I need to get back to work.
Yeah. I can understand that.
Yeah, full steam ahead. That's what I do.
Right. And you do what you have to do, especially when it comes to family. You got to do it. So.
You got that right, and 3 little boys that are all like 8, 5, and 3, and all have different needs.
Oh my gosh!
Mm-hmm.
And being boys, they're very rambunctious, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think God was playing a joke on me when He gave me 3 boys.
Well,
so,
you know what? I have 3 boys and 1 girl, and I have to say that I understand completely what you mean. And with my daughter, she was so quiet, I'd have to check on her to see what she was doing, because usually when boys are quiet, they're getting in trouble. But with my daughter, it was the complete opposite. She was just quiet, playing with her toys. So
you got that right. Yeah, boys are boys.
Yeah.
Oh,
God love them. Well, I guess I just wanted to start out with saying that you actually started your career as a model and then went into acting. So what was it like traveling all over the world when you were modeling? Was it fun or just work?
Traveling around the world and taking pictures for a living and getting paid to do so, and then being matched up, with these beautiful women in my life was not a bad deal. Not a bad way to make a living. I cannot complain. I started at 17 right out of high school, something that was not taken to heart, something I didn't really think that would be turned into a career for a short period of time. I mean, I came out of high school, and got discovered kind of that way, and then from there went into being invited to go to Milan, and then I went over and started working for Gianni Versace, did a big campaign for him, and then a week later, and then from there we went down to I got it backwards. I did Emporio Armani campaign, so I got to meet Rosanna and Giorgio Armani, and then the next day I was on a train to Rimini in the south of Italy, and on the beach with about 10 other people, and it was crazy. Just wild times. I mean, it's taken me across the world and then some, like 5 continents. So I'm very grateful.
Wow.
It definitely was a platform that turned into a nice experience within 4 years. My college education was on the road in a suitcase, but at the same time it was catch-22 because I was sacrificing a lot of personal time with family and stuff, and those are the things that kind of led me back home and just trying to get rooted again a bit, if you will. And so I just was like, I'm 1 minute I'm on billboards or in Times Square, for our money campaign, and then the next minute I'm like, I just want to go home and wait tables and be around real people, because it was like, it's just,
no, I can't.
Yeah, I'm not, it may sound funny and ironic, but it's honestly, I grew up in a restaurant family, and so my grandparents were restaurateurs. So for me, it was a really integral part of my life growing up, and a country boy, and kind of thing. And so when I started traveling, you get a little homesick at times because I wasn't going home but once a year, and then, if your grandparents take ill, you miss a family reunion or a gathering, you're only hearing over the phone or a letter, but you're not being there. But those
you're not there.
Early years. What's that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're just not there. You just weren't there. You were in letters, and you just needed to be there.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of felt, I was missing that good home cooking, and that Southern cooking that I grew up loving. And so, but I never complained, and it never showed that I was lack of eating, being in Italy or Japan or whatever have you. So it was my education on the road. So cultured and, diversified in so many different areas, which is something that forever changed me and built character. And it gave me a really appreciation of what world we live in and how we can take for granted for what we have right in front of us sometimes.
That's so very true. Now, speaking of eating, when you were out and about, when you traveled, was there any food that you tried for the first time? Were you adventurous like that?
Yeah, I think everything was new to me because it wasn't fried.
Yeah.
There's everything in Texas, even down to Oreo cookies and stuff, we fried it, for some reason. So, that's just a Texas thing, I guess. So, but no, I mean, I living in Italy or London or Paris, you're just surrounded by so many different cultures and sushi and stuff in Japan. So, I mean, I was with not just with the culture, but the people, from
right.
my roommate in Japan. My roommate was French, and my other roommate was, from London and English, and then I could have a guy from New York or Arizona and then thrown in the mix, but I could have a Canadian from Quebec City, So being surrounded by so many different languages and people and just their stories and their experiences and from A to Z was just, it was fun. I mean, I enjoyed life, and I was living it to the fullest at that age, as I should.
Right.
But it got to a point where I needed to make a change, and I was, I'm a bit of an old soul, I think. I'm the eldest of three boys, so I needed to kind of make roots and get a new path, and I felt I had achieved so much, and acting was always my calling, and my mother was kind of the advocate of that. That kind of was like, hey, you've been home for 3 months. Shouldn't you be going somewhere anytime soon? And I'm like, what are you trying to say? And so, I felt in love for a second, but I knew that she meant well. But, things happen for a reason, and a door was closing on me, and then I see another opportunity, one opening, and, and I just packed up my car and moved to L.A., and then a new chapter of my life began.
Well, your first regular role was on Aaron Spelling's series Malibu Shores as Josh Walker. I mean, did that happen right away when you got to L.A., or was that something that came about a little bit later?
No, within the year. So, I mean, it felt like it was very quick for the amount of time that I was there with the experience that I had achieved or gained. But even people ask me, it's like, hey, my child wants to be an actor, or what do you recommend, or give me advice? I say follow your heart. If you got a dream, I think if anybody wants something bad enough in life, if you really put a lot of work and effort into something, you can achieve anything. It's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It's what is it saying? It's like nothing is impossible, but everything is possible.
Right.
There's
exactly.
nothing in life that's impossible because everything is possible. It's just I feel also you got to have the work ethic and the right tools. I think we're all born differently and gifted with different skill sets. I mean, I wish I could be a rock star that could jam out, and have jam sessions with so many people, but I can't. I don't have that skill set. That's not my forte. That's not my future. But I appreciate it to the utmost. I wish I was a painter, but I'm a proactive parent with my children. With music and dance and painting and everything like that. So I kind of make sure they get something of that.
Yeah, I guess I won't ask you to sing us a tune anytime soon then, right?
By all means, do not. I mean, Eric Bartswell, he is definitely the one that tries. I say I can do backup vocals. I have no problem. If you lead the pack, I will stop, lead in or, just make there something, a nice beverage in a clear bottle that's a little diluted, and I'll be great.
Yeah. Well, when you're so funny. Oh my God!
I'll tell you one time I went and played in this Fairway to Heaven. It was way back in the day. A lot of the maybe people don't remember it, but it was like VH1 had this special golf tournament, and it was a karaoke theme that I was not informed of. I think they took that out intentionally. And went there, and then afterwards. We went to this rap party, and it was everybody's karaoke. So, it was like from Bryan Adams to like Winona Judd. All these great singers were coming out on stage and performing. Carrot Top, and I mean, even that guy could sing. I mean, I was just
really?
I could not believe, you know, they had Sting came out. It was really unbelievable. And talk about pressure. And I got up with this really beautiful model, but the only way you could ever goat me up there was to really have me double-fisted. So I was just finally did it and stumbled my way through it, and I laughed, I think, the whole way through just so I didn't have to sing a note.
Oh my gosh, I would love to see that. I hope it's on YouTube somewhere.
Well, we're not advocating, we're not promoting it. I want to have a fan base still. I want people to like me, not you know. Don't judge me. Don't judge me.
And you know what? Just as you said that, I mean, I don't think there's any fan of yours in the world that would judge you if they watched you sing something like that, you know, because we know that you're so very talented beyond the singing part of it. So that would just be something that would be enjoyable for us to listen to.
Well, good. Well, thank you. That's very kind of you to say so.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Now, you've been in quite a few television. I'm sorry?
Oh, never mind. Let's move on for sure.
Oh. Well, I was saying that you've been in quite a few television series that I've seen you in, but one of them that I loved was Charmed. And I read that Aaron Spelling created that character, Dan Gordon, for you. Did you know he was going to do that, or did he call you after he created it?
No, that was kind of on the aftermath. They were, at the time, they were seeing people. And, you know, after, you know, doing this Malibu Shores, you know, and the ensemble in that group was so good. Kerry Russell, Tony Luca, Katie Wright, Susan Ward, Charisma Carpenter, Walter. I mean, it was just Randy Spelling. I mean, there was just, we had Christian Campbell. I mean, the list just goes on. Michelle Phillips played my mother. I mean, we started there, right. And then it rolled into, I just became a spelling child, I guess. Like, I wanted the, in the factory. I got put into 90210 after that, and then it rolled into, like, Aaron was just like, he was a big fan of mine and just really trying to find me a platform, and I think there was also a bit of luck in that, you know, a space to be filled and a triangle to be made, and I just kind of got the call. I went in, and I think people were reading, and I just got a call, and I went in and met with him and Duke, who was his partner for Spelling Entertainment, and Duke Vincent, you know, and they're just basically like, we got something for you. Because they had been calling me, trying to filter out some idea projects down the road. I mean, I was very fortunate, got a lot of opportunity through the Spelling family, and he was my mentor, man. He was definitely somebody I greatly admired and appreciated.
Well, I mean, that is a charmed life, so to speak, no pun intended, to be part of that family, because he was so successful in everything that he did, and mostly everybody that did any type of TV series with him, you know, became very well known at that point. Were you, you know, like walking down the street or in the store a lot and be people coming up to you and saying, oh, aren't you from Charmed or Malibu Shores or 90210 or something?
You know, it's funny because I do live in L.A. So living in L.A., I am like a dime a dozen. You know, and one thing, I mean, there's not saying that everybody is in this. I think the entertainment industry is a majority of the city's, you know, occupation, you know, if you will. They're somehow connected to it, from catering or to, you know, it could be a numerous amount of things, from production side, from finance, whatever have you. But for me, I was never like, I don't have the problem. I like anonymity, but at the same time, it's not like I'm such on a huge level of status quo that I have people at my front doorstep or cars following me and my children or, you know, or whatever have you. So it's kind of like a blessing at the same time. Right. I did experience very randomly, mostly the girl behind the counter, you know, making the coffee kind of thing. My greatest experience, I think, has come from daytime television. I was tackled in a Montreal airport, you know, at a Burger King at 7 a.m.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, and I think she ditched the walker and ran and began to walk much faster, a lot faster than she.
Oh my God.
She literally, and it's so strange, but she was definitely, she was like at least my grandmother's age, but she laid eyes on me and she tackled me, literally. I mean, literally like took me down. And with a bear hug, and I was just like, I ended up having a quick coffee with her just to kind of calm her down, just because it was so funny.
Oh wow!
I just wanted her to, she was hyperventilating, and I was just like, it's all good. That was my first, I think, run-in, and then with just a little bit of recognition, and then one night I was in Toronto, and I was very cold and trying to hail a cab, which was impossible in the city. For some reason, it wasn't New York, and crazy packed, but I knocked on a car that a girl was sitting in the passenger seat on the phone, and she recognized me from Charmed, and that went, yeah. So I had another experience. She gave me a lift. She did give me a ride, though, at 2:30 in the morning.
Well, that came in handy then, because if you would have been unrecognized, she would have called the cops on you instead.
I mean, I was very kind. I mean, I try to keep my manners in tune, but I haven't had other than a daytime gathered experience. If you don't walk around with an entourage of sort, I think you kind of eliminate, prevent yourself from having such attention drawn to you. When you come in with like 5 to 10 people, an entourage such as like Justin Bieber may have to entertain, it's different. So they get that type of thing. I think the more you're wanting it, the more attention you need, or some people just like the anonymity, like I said earlier, just like to kind of go through the steps and emotions like a normal person. I mean, there's no difference. It's just I think we're kind of a public persona, if you will, and so we're in a television format or a film format, and that gets recognition. I'm by no means at the Brad Pitt level is like,
right.
They have a Tom Cruise type thing, or Charlie Hunnam type thing, So, but no, I love what I do. I think there's, I'm tremendously grateful and humbled by what I have experienced and the people who've embraced me for it and recognized it and given me any bit of accolades for it.
Well, speaking of which, you were nominated for an Emmy on your first daytime show, which was Young and the Restless.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I mean, what went through your head when you heard that?
It's kind of like I think you called the wrong person kind of moment,
Oh no!
Are you sure you called the right guy? It's a very rewarding aspect to get recognized for the work that we gratefully are so grateful to do for a living. It's been a dream to be on the in front of the screen and be on the screen in a format that is so dear to many of us, and why we achieve it. It's very self-rewarding, but at the same time, for your peers to recognize your work, that you work so hard to do, it's a compliment.
Do you think that being on all those other series in the evening prepared you for your first daytime role?
Yes and no. I mean, definitely it makes you feel comfortable on the, in any given format, but at the same time, the daytime speed and what the how much they process and turnover is on a higher scale, and daytime is so underrated and so undernoted, and but I've seen a lot of veteran TV actors since coming from primetime to daytime. I've seen a lot of people who come in and can't keep up. It's just almost too much, and that's
right.
In the last 5 years, it's even faster. We have less time, less money. We're moving at a higher rate of speed than we ever used to, compared to 12 years ago when I came into the format, the medium. So,
yeah, and you guys got a lot of pages to memorize. I know that's one huge thing if you don't have a great memory for you,
Yeah, people ask. I said it's like riding a bicycle. A bicycle. You kind of understand from point A to B what your story point is, where you got to start, where you're at in the beginning, and where you're getting to, and you're always constantly building an arc. You never want to you got to pick and choose how far to go, and pace yourself, because the payoff could take 4 to 6 months before you get there. So you really got to slowly evolve, if you're really drawing out a storyline. But now, people want to see things happen much faster. I think that's the, where we're at in this world. When you're on Netflix and shows are being done in 8 episodes, and you can watch them all. You can kind of you just go through all 8 episodes, and so you're kind of we have to keep up, much faster. The storylines are moving quicker, which is good and bad. So at Days of Our Lives, we're 5.5 months ahead. I've already shot the end of April.
Wow. I knew they were months ahead, but I didn't know it was that far ahead.
Yeah, we're pretty far ahead, so it's hard to keep up with where people are at and with story points and doing interview, and when people are saying, "Oh my God, you were great," and I'm like, "What are we talking about? What show?"
Yeah.
Oh my God, I did that so long ago. I don't even remember what I did last week.
Yeah.
Once you do your scenes, you probably just put it out of your head until the next stuff comes up because of it being so far in advance as well.
Yeah. It helps the process to where you're, having to learn so much material in a short amount of time. You don't have time to really hang on to it. It's like each scene is just kind of like you get it right then and there, and you kind of pass it off and you move on to the next one. You don't have time to recalculate, oh, I wish I could have, should have, would have done this, or whatever have you. It's really just like, that's it. That's in the tank. Moving on. Great. I hope that was good. You don't have time to think, which is a great thing. And, I've learned over the years and watching a lot of old film and documentaries and interviews with, Hollywood legends, if you will. So it's kind of like you're always, when you're unprepared in a sense, and you just say, and your instincts are natural and they kick in, sometimes your best rehearsals are your best takes, So I always prefer, it's like, hey, we're going to rehearse this. Can we put that on tape by chance, And some people are prepared, some people are. So I like, hey, it's like an audition. You have to go in one time, kill it, because it's like you're going to tape, and that's what they want to see. So for me, it's like I get upstairs and I'm just like, let's go. I've been waiting for hours to get here. I'm definitely ready to go. Let's shoot this.
When they are filming, they only bring in the actors that are filming for that day. Is that how that works?
Yeah, there's days that, it could be an early call, for some, and some have later calls, that won't be much needed till after lunch. But every show is different. A lot of people were called in the days that come in at 7 o'clock in the morning to do dry blocking, and then you had to leave and come back later, or you were there all day until needed. So usually when you're on somebody's payroll, then they own you. So they didn't really care. It was just like, you're on my watch and you're on my clock, so I own you, and come in and rehearse or whatever have you and be ready. But nowadays it's time is important for everybody. Those many of us that have been around for a while and have children or obligations outside of the show. You kind of give and take. You got to just time manage your schedule and your life. So, but it's pretty good. It's much better than I think it used to be.
Definitely. Well, I know you can't talk about upcoming storylines or anything as far as Days of Our Lives is concerned, but I was curious to know what your thoughts are as far as maybe with Sean Christensen leaving and being killed off of the show. Do you think that eventually Eric and Nicole will find their way back to each other, or would you like to see Eric with someone new?
Well, there's a lot of turmoil coming down the pipeline, so it's going to be anytime you lose somebody that is a fabric of the show, such as Sean, it's a detriment. It's a terrible loss. He's a dear friend of mine, and when he got that call, and then it came to my attention, it's something that you never wish or want to see anybody, no matter what their position, not just as a cast member, but as a crew member, as a makeup, somebody in any department head, whatever. I don't want to see the trash man lose his job for much less. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Everybody in this day and age, to where we are in the real world, we all work, and we all have children, some of us, and some of us, we have obligations to our family and responsibilities. So seeing him go it's terribly shocking, but he went out like a champion. He did it exceptionally well. It's like The Sopranos. Somebody's going to have to die in this episode. You never wanted to see your friend dead. But, that's the nature of the beast, and it brings a lot of attention, when the show's it's kind of evolving and changing. For some for the greater good and some not so. And a lot of people's opinions about it may take it very, very hard and very, offended by the choices that are made. But, when people are empowered to carry big wear hats, and they have to make tough decisions, and those tough decisions, unfortunately, have to make things that to go a different direction in our world. But as far as the Eric and Nicole, I can never say never.
Right.
But I'm not saying that I think she's going to go through a tremendous amount of pain and loss herself. And then, whatever the ramifications of that, we're going to see, and then however that spirals out, I think there's going to be numerous story points that are going to come out of this.
Yeah, I think so too. And I just would love for you to tell Sean that I'm a huge fan of his, and I'm so sorry that he's not going to be on the show anymore, but I wish him only the best, and I will definitely follow his career to wherever it takes him next.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? We've all been on that side of the fence. I mean, myself, the same way, and it's always shocking at first, but I sent him a note when I found out, and I said every door closes, another one opening, and I felt there was great things that he, when you're used to that 9 to 5 comfort level, you get too comfortable in your own skin. So for me, when I was let go from GH, the same thing, you're back to the real world, and get on your feet, it's like, hey, we're prepared, we're ready for that. That's just where the job works in the real world. And, just because we're actors and on a program doesn't mean that we are not dispensable. So we're all under the same, every day counts. Let's make the best of it. And every day, whatever we make, let's make magic. And one day we may get that call. So you can never be not prepared. And, he handled it with class. And you know what? Since then, he's gone off and done a couple of movies and guest stars. He's, I think, more content and happy because of he's doing things that he was not allowed to do. So it's a great thing. It's a great thing.
Well, that's good. I'm happy to hear that because he definitely needs to still be working. He's a very good actor, and I would hate to see that fall by the wayside, but I don't see that happening for him.
Oh, no. He's so talented, and he's, it doesn't hurt to be good looking, too, at his age, so he's going to be great.
Well, you mentioned General Hospital, and I have to tell you, I know that myself and many, many people loved you as Lucky Spencer.
Yeah.
And it's not easy for fans to take a new actor in an established role like that, but you made it seamless, and we thank you for that. How did you come into GH? You're welcome. How did you come into GH and make that role of Lucky your own?
And everything, I just break it down by what I'm reading. It's like reading a novel. You take the book and you read it. I just kind of cut the fat out and I just read the meat and I just kind of put those shoes on and kind of walk through it, and try to find the heartbeat of where this person wants to go and navigate them, and everything changes. And everything changes. You never know. I mean, it's like 1 minute you're this guy, the next minute you're a drug user. The next minute you're like running off the bridge. You're in a car crash. I mean, you just have to, I'm like a vessel, and I just want to be able to move people in a way that their heart there's strings being pulled. And that is what made me want to be an actor. It's like I want to know that somebody is watching that's going to be like, oh my God, I either experienced or I know somebody that's gone through that, or oh my God, my heart is breaking for this person, or oh my God, I'm so rooting for this guy, or you just kind of you find your own, you tweak it and put a button on it, a nice little button on things, and unexpected things makes you remembered. It makes you try to be a scene stealer, So everybody's always trying to stay present and involved, and even when you're not being the center of attention, and that's some of the greatest legends that I kind of remember, doing my own homework in, and how they stood out for me, and so I think that comes with the work. I think, that's our obligation. That's our skill set. I want to be as good as I'm allowed to be, but when you're given the right component, whether it's material, whether it's your co-star, it could be the way it's shot, the lighting, it could be a numerous amount of things, but I think they're all these ingredients that make the most beautiful thing, and that's why we love what we do.
And that's why we love you.
Well, thank you so much.
Most certainly.
I know David has a David has a question for you.
Yeah, I do. Hey, man. Yeah,
hey.
You have been fortunate enough to work with some of the wonderful legends of daytime. What lasting impressions did you receive from working with Deidre Hall or Anthony Geary?
That's good. I know not to repeat anything, but trying to go through every interview I've ever said about them, no matter their iconic presence on daytime or television or film, no matter whatever it is, they are the most kind-hearted, welcoming people that I've had the fortunes to work beside, but to play their son. And you're filling shoes that were once filled, and it's you can. I don't think you can ever refill the magic that they may have created pre my entry into their lives as their sons. But Tony Geary was a man of many words. The guy is very skilled. He can sing, which I never could, which we spoke on earlier. So yeah. I knew that was going to be a problem. But no, he was. God, there's nothing you can't say about that guy that he couldn't do. He just knew how to just really play a man of many faces, and so the saying is he's like a box of chocolates, you never know what you're going to get. Just tremendous, tremendous. And I just really, I felt more fortunate to be in his company, and I longed to always work with him as much as we could, and build a certain dynamic that was remembered, and that had a presence enough to be as equal or greater than what people remembered, because we had a new audience watching by the time I was there. It was, I was the third actor to portray the character in the stint that I was there. So, if there's anything, I wish I could have been there in his final goodbye. I wish that I could have definitely been there. It would have been something I would have deeply appreciated, remembered, and greatly been wonderful to be a part of something like that. No matter what, just to be in his company is always good. But we're still friendly. We still see each other, and I know where he is. So, Deidre.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Deidre Hall, she's a big ball of butter. We melt in each other's arms. We see each other. It's like I become like her adopted third child in real life, because she has her two children, and, she's been like another mother for me. She's really taken me in, and we have some magic coming up that people are going to just get your Kleenex box ready. It's going to rip and roll.
Again?
Yeah, no, it's some big stuff, but Josh Taylor and myself. I mean, we have some of the greatest stuff we've ever had working since I've joined there.
Oh wow! Because I think that's all we've been doing is crying with Days of Our Lives, and we're hoping that very soon we get some happy things going on.
Oh, there's a lot of great things. But there's still a whole lot of turmoil, you know. But I mean, that's the great thing about you got to have the soap. You got to have the drama, you know, and the opera and the whole soap, you know. And so
and you have to cry.
You know, and so. For myself, this is probably the greatest contribution that I've given in my work on the show. So I look forward to seeing it and what people's take on it is, and we'll see where it goes.
That really says a lot, you know, because you bring it every time you're on screen. So I'm really, you know, curious now to see what this upcoming storyline is going to be.
And you better cry too, Pam.
Well, let me know. You better give me feedback on that.
I will.
No, it's been a long time coming, but you know, I mean, it's finally I put my 2 cents in, and you know, I had a good talk with the writers, and you know, it finally it's we needed to do something, you know, and this is something that's it's good for all parties.
Well, I was really happy when Eric got out of the priesthood. I hate to say that, but I was. I just think it gives you more story to work with, you know, when you're not in the priesthood.
Well, you know, I took it as a challenge because of the occupational direction that they brought me, in which I was tremendously shocked. I was like a deer in headlights when that was told to me, and I couldn't believe it, and I was kind of like a little hesitant. I was like, wow. But the more I sat with it for a couple of days, because they wanted to know whether I wanted to come in and talk about it or not. And the more I sat with it, is the more that I really put my fingers into it. And I just said, you know what? This will blow people's minds. I've never been cast or thought of to play a part such as this. So there's going to be a lot of challenges. There's going to be a lot of areas in which that are not in my comfort zone that I would love to tap into. So for me as an actor and trying to be creative, that's what was the greatest reward, is going in and trying not to do the things that come very easily, you know, or your, you know, your comfort zone. So completely, it was like having to restructure my way of thinking and operational points of view. And as an actor, you know, you want to find something within yourself that you can find likable, relatable, or understandable, and what's moving this guy, you know. And so it was a lot more than I think people – it was harder to do than it was to just stand there and regurgitate a bunch of lines, so, or rip my clothes off, which comes with the territory. So it was nice not to be like – you know, rip my clothes off, let's get in the sheets. I mean, my first day on Young and the Restless, that's the first thing I did was Sharon Case. I mean,
right.
In the So I was like, wow, you're actually challenging me as an actor. You're not asking me to take my clothes off. I love this. Right. On daytime. So, you know, I know people were like, okay, when's this coming to an end, or when's he got to get real? But, you know, Ari is such a tremendous, funny actress. And we really, you know, we've known each other for such a long time, and so for us to work together was even great, you know, because we played around with a lot. We were like, hey, let's just recapture. It's a brand new canvas. Let's just put an array of color in this thing, and so let's see what we can find and build something new that people would not. There's going to be flashback memories and what our past was, but let's create a new direction. So collectively, we did some good stuff, and hopefully people captured that, and you know, were drawn in by it, and eventually it came to an end.
And you know what? I mean, even though I was yelling at my TV, you know, hurry up and get out of the priesthood, at the same time I was happy the way that it did evolve. It wasn't something that happened, you know, you and Nicole felt for each other, so you jumped right into bed. Like you said, it didn't happen that way. It evolved over time. And I'm glad that it happened that way. Of course, the way you were, you know, the way you got out of priesthood wasn't the greatest, but it was done.
No, It was done. I think the pressure was coming upstairs, and I think everybody from NBC was asking the same thing. When are we getting this guy in the bed? Or when are we going to get him down and dirty, kind of like they were doing with everybody else on the show, except for me?
Yeah.
So,
that's funny.
Eventually it was coming, but I definitely can say I love my one uniform, and I love not having to take it off.
Right. It's definitely, and not like everyday living where you have to pick out your clothing. When you go into work, at least somebody else is picking out your clothing.
Yeah, you know what? It was the only time I looked back and I said I was always jealous of Maurice Benard because he had the greatest black suit all the time.
Right.
So I think eventually it came out that I may have said that, so they put me in one black suit. I never had to worry about a thing.
Just not the one you expected right at the.
Yeah, it was like Steve Burton playing Jason Morgan. He had the greatest black leather. He had black T-shirts and black leather jacket. I'm like, God, this guy can never mess up. It's the greatest thing. How can I have that?
It's so funny.
That's right.
Well, speaking of one suit, I mean, I've only seen one picture, but your new movie that's coming on Sunday, November 29th, on the Hallmark Movies and Mysteries channel is called The Christmas Note. And I'm so looking forward to that because every single year that's what I do. I watch all the holiday movies. So why don't you go ahead and let us know what it's about and your character as your role as Kyle.
Well, this is really a story about these two women and how they really kind of together. They're both walking different paths, but they both embark on a relationship together that is really beautiful, and at the same time it's very kind of helping each other, walk through the walk itself. Because my wife, Jamie Lynn Siegler, she's moving home, to be closer to mom during the holidays because it's really hard because as her spouse is defending his country and fighting for something that he signed up for and believes in. And so why I'm at war, defending it, her and our son is somewhat trying to make it through this time. And what we do is we have a great chemistry, but it's kind of like at first you're not sure whether I'm real or flashback memories, because that's what I read the script is like, I didn't know if I was really, am I just kind of a flashback memory, for her, and just to look back on and to get through the hardships or, and so when I got towards the end, I'm like, oh my God, you're kidding me. Never saw this coming. So it's a real, hang on the fence for a minute. It got you hooked and hanging on.
I love those types of movies, and, I guess it's appropriate that it's on the Hallmark Movies and Mysteries channel and not just the regular Hallmark channel because it's going to be a mystery, it sounds like.
Oh, yeah, and it's a good one. It's a good one. Yeah. It's a good one, not just because I'm in it, because I'm, this is one of those books that has got legions of fans behind it. So, and, but it's a tremendous. I really love working with Hallmark. They've been so good to me. This is my third movie with them, and I had such fun, and the producers and everybody was so generous, and I couldn't wait to get back up to it every time because we were filming in Vancouver, so I was flying back and forth from LA to Vancouver.
I absolutely love the Hallmark Channel. They have the best movies because they're family movies. You can sit down with your kids or your grandmother and not be embarrassed to watch something with them.
Yeah,
that's right.
There is nothing greater than the holiday season coming around. Something one of my favorite time of the years, and then being with the kids and then being able to watch movies. But this is a full family movie. It's a good couple movie, but at the same time, it's a family movie.
Mhm. Do you get time to sit down with the kids and watch the holiday movies with them?
Oh God, yeah, I do as much as I can. I'm like there. We do so much. We've already seen the Charlie Brown movie. We've seen In and Out movie. You know, the Inside Out movie. I'm waiting for the new the dinosaur movie coming out. We go to the movies so much together. I mean, these are my children, my kids. I let them, you know, they're their own. They walk their own paths in life. But I actually, at the same time, we're also like, we embrace going to the movie as a family, like all the time.
Yeah. Do they watch any of the movies that you've been in?
No, we don't. It's kind of like they can't sit through that. That's a long. It's like not action packed, you know.
They're
kind
little
of movies
yet.
that they want to see. Yeah, they're 8, under. So they're like, this is sweet. But if it's we watch The Christmas Story and with the kid, with the boy and the BB gun and stuff like that. Anything very child driven, we're engaged. But when it comes to this adult and there's kissing, they like, ew, gross, kind of. They don't want to watch that. They have no interest.
That's funny. I could just picture them saying that. My kids are grown now, but I know they used to say things like that too.
Oh yeah. I mean, anytime they even see me, oh, mommy, he's kissing a woman. What do you, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Well, just for our listeners, I wanted to let them know, in case they're not familiar, the Christmas Note is actually the 5th movie in the Christmas Shoes franchise. There were earlier films that will also be, repeating during the holiday season, so be sure to watch the Hallmark Movies and Mysteries channel. But you have now inducted yourself into this franchise along with people like Rob Lowe and Neil Patrick Harris and Madeline Stowe and Rebecca Gayheart. So that's good company.
Yeah. Well, I think Jamie, she's kind of leading the forefront, her and Leah, so, I like to, I'm just kind of like a nice poster board for the whole. I'm like a glorified prop, a glorified extra in this movie. But you know what? I say that with good fun, but at the same time, Beth, she's one of our executives, and she's really one of my, after the first day of filming when I arrived, because all my stuff came later in the movie, and Jamie and Beth and everybody, the rest of the cast, were already shooting for a few weeks and they had been settled in. So by the time that I got there was an element to the movie that was missing. And Beth, at the end of the day, she's like, Greg, I just wanted to introduce myself, I've been watching you all day, and I have to say that you just put the heartbeat in the movie. It's everything that I just didn't know what was missing, but I felt there's a bigger impact that was been missing. And since you've been here and seen your work all day, you guys have this instantaneous chemistry that it just is mind-boggling how amazing you guys just pulled it together that quickly in a short amount of time and delivered what you delivered. So that right there just gave me so much, reward. So I just kind of like, that's knowing I'm doing my work.
Right. Well, you're definitely a professional and you know how to do it, so I'm not real surprised that they were thrilled with your work. Well,
thank you. We had fun. And I love doing it. That's why I'm like, I picked a good occupation to follow in my life.
Definitely. Now, I have one more question for you, but I also wanted to ask you if you have time to take just one call. I know we have other people, that called in to listen, but just one person that would like to talk to you.
Yeah.
But my last question would be, what's your favorite holiday? Well, you said Christmas, but what's your favorite tradition to pass on to your children?
We played a lot of board games when I was a kid, and family would gather around, and so we made ornaments and board games. So we try to implement those type of things, and making something special, a memory keepsake. So when they get bold, they can look back and how silly their artwork is on their ornaments or, whatever they craft. We make those gingerbread cookies that could never stay together, that was always broken or missing an arm or a leg. you know, those are the things that I look back when my mom, she always had these, like, boxes. I mean, as old as I am now, they're just funny to look back, but I always remember pulling them out of the paper and how great it was to see them, and how I was just like, it just always had a memory, you know. And so we do that with our kids. We just put pictures and stuff together, and just good stuff, anything fun and memorable, but I think just all being together, you know, and embracing each other, and there's so much love between us all, and, you know, I think that's the most important, and I hope everybody else has a beautiful Thanksgiving and a wonderful Christmas and holiday and New Year to come.
Oh, thank you. Same back to you. And it sounds like you got it. And I'm so very happy for you in all respects, both, you know, with the kids, the family, and also your work. And you couldn't ask for much more. But I'm going to go ahead and pull on our caller, who just wants to give a quick hello, and her name is Missy.
Yeah. Missy, okay.
Go ahead, Missy.
Hey,
you're
Greg.
live on air.
Hello.
You know which Missy this is?
Yes, I do. How are you, darling? How you feeling?
I'm feeling much better, thank you.
Well, good. That ladder, I cry. Get up that ladder, right?
I'll never stop climbing. That's the tweet
right.
that started my climb. I'm down 168 pounds now.
Wow. This is coming from a woman who's going through fibromyalgia and everything, and let me tell you, this is one of the most courageous women, mother of two beautiful kids, and an amazing husband that she has, and gives her so much support. So you're listening to this, to a true hero on the other line, asking the questions, not giving the answer.
Oh, that's sweet. No, you're my hero. You brought me out of a really bad place. I wanted to step in and just let you know that I am starting to walk. Still with some assistance. That's fantastic. Yeah. You're doing that. Give it all to you. You give me strength, motivation.
Thank you.
And I cannot wait to see the movie, and neither can the rest of your 53,000 Twitter followers. We're all
a lot of
excited.
DVRs will be set, I'm sure.
Yeah, we're all excited. And you know I love you. And your boys.
Much love back to you as well. Yes, indeed.
You tell the family I said hello and happy Thanksgiving, and I hope you guys have a wonderful Turkey Day.
Yes, and you too, darling. Y'all be good, and give love to the kids and the hubby and everybody else.
I sure will.
And feel better. Keep doing your work. Keep climbing.
I'm climbing. GV girls are helping me.
Yeah, we're both climbing.
We'll get there.
Well,
thank you so much, Misty, for calling in.
Thank you for letting me speak, and I love you, Greg. I'll talk to you soon.
Love you, darling. Be good.
All right, hon.
Bye-bye. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Well, Greg, we're going to let you go. We want to thank you so much for spending time with us. And I know you didn't hear the beginning of the show, but I've been waiting 3 years since my show started to speak with you. Yeah. So this is an early Christmas. No, I'm not. This is an early Christmas gift for me.
Are you kidding me, Beth? It's taken us 3 years?
Yep.
Wow.
But I know that, I know that you're busy, and I don't take it to heart. And, I mean, there's, a lot of actors that can't come on and some that just won't. But I know that you do, and you are busy, and I just figured when the time comes, it'll come. And it just so happened to come.
Well, it's given us so much to think about, all the stuff that we've had to talk about.
Right?
Yeah. I've given you 3 more years of homework to do and more product to talk about. I probably wouldn't have had much to offer. So I think it was probably good things come to those who wait.
Right.
That's absolutely true.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, well, thanks again. God bless you each and every day and your family as well. And we'll keep watching you, and we'll take care.
Be safe, buddy.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks, Beth, so much, and all the best to you both, and have a wonderful time with you and your family, and God bless.
Thank you. You too.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay.
You know, it's
ready?
so wonderful that, you know, even though he's so busy, he took the time to still call in. I mean, he's got his kids with him. I tried to make this as short as possible, but it's not easy to do sometimes. And I do believe that he enjoyed himself, so that was a good thing.
Oh, yeah. I enjoyed myself. I mean, I absolutely, well, you know me, I live in the soap world, so I absolutely enjoyed this. Yeah, well, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know. But I want to thank everybody for their patience, for waiting for Greg to call in and bearing with us as we jibber-jabbed, and I played some music. I hope you enjoyed the music. And enjoyed Greg's chat with us. I'm sorry we couldn't bring in more callers, but unfortunately, you know, like I said, due to time constraints, I kept him even a little bit longer than I intended to. But I want to say that all of you listening are Greg-Vaughan fans, so don't forget, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, Sunday the 29th, and that's 8 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Pacific, if they're, you know, sticking with that time zone thing. Be sure to watch him and Jamie Lynn Sigler in the Christmas Note on the Hallmark Movies and Mysteries channel. If you don't know where it is, start looking now, because it takes a while to find.
Check your cable provider and follow the numbers.
Yeah, I just went, you know, because the thing is, when I thought about it, I thought, well, I think I saw that, so I just started clicking, and I was like, oh, my gosh, I'll be here all day. But I did find it, so I'm very grateful. Because, like I said, I do love both channels, and I love the holiday movies. So we're going to enjoy it. Everybody have a happy Thanksgiving. We're going to have one more show before the holidays that I'm aware of right now. It'll be our rescheduled show with Eric Jacob and oh, my gosh, Liz. What's Liz's last name? My mind went blank. Anyways, they're comedians. They're comedians, and they're in a new web series, a comedy called A Hot Mess through Silver Tree Entertainment, and we're going to have them on very soon, so watch for the schedule on that. I'll be tweeting and posting and putting it on the website on take2radio.com, and that's with the number 2. If you go under upcoming guests, you'll see. And I also put on there, you know, my not my music show, but I think I have my Take Two Radio Junior, my kids show, and then Mary's show, and oh my gosh, my mind is going blank. Jim's show, which is usually paranormal stuff, but the schedule will be on there, so if you take a look. But in the meantime, have a happy Thanksgiving, and I hope you enjoyed everything. Everybody have a great night. David, thank you for joining me. Shout out to Greg and to Beth, and thanks for everything.
Thank you, everybody.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Get connected with Take Two Radio on Facebook or Twitter at Take Two Radio. For email updates on future shows, follow at Blog Talk Radio. For previous episodes, upcoming guests, and more, visit take2radio.com.